Hello and welcome. Today is Tuesday, the 26th day of September 2017. My name is Derek and welcome. Let's go over some crypto trading. But first, man, I want to gamble. Invest. It's all the same. When you look at the definition, gambling is making a risk on something you're uncertain of. And uncertain is defined as something that is not 0 or 100% likely to happen, which is practically everything in this world. So almost every single investor is that of a gambler. But there are words like calculated, vantage players, those who are people whom expect a long term a positive return on investment. So the purpose is to do video chronological style for codes, starting with the letter A. Ones I am currently unaware of at this point. See how many trades that I can make and then follow this up in a week or two or three time. I mean, it might take me a week to even finish this up, going from A to Z. Heck, this is a long intro. Okay, the reason I'm bored. My portfolio is currently in an ease mode, which makes it easy to trade, easy to manage. Market dependent. When the markets move, I mean, it can get hectic, and it ain't doing that right now. It is just boring. And handicapping sports, I got nothing to look at for the rest of the day. It's all done. And in the early 2000s, working at a job where half the time I could twiddle my thumb, watch movies, read books, and I did all the previous three. I don't remember twiddling my thumb. But I also learned how to be a gambler using the pen, paper, random number generator, and lots of math. Random number generator was a deck of cards as well as a calculator. For example, if I want a number from say 1 to 1,000 or 0 to 999 and 0 would represent 1,000, I would do something like a weird calculation of this kind of nature. For example, let's just assume that we take 55 divided by 3 point this, multiply just some random numbers. I won't count the last two decimals. So the random number is 916. So I did a lot of things of that type of nature back in the day, and I was able to get very creative, of course, within a lot of simulations. And I have simulated billions of events, and the only reason that number is so damn high is because of computers being so damn fast at simulating. But because the game of blackjack intrigues me and frustrates me, I don't even know if I spelled this word right, nor do I care. As this is a game that I have learned through programming that it is the worst game for variance. I don't like it. That self-taught work and life experience as a gambler has made me play this strategy today, and thus execution, smart, lowest risk, highest reward possible, and it has been a success so far. There's no way you can win unless you take some sort of risk, but how do you implement it so that you have it within this strategy? It's not easy, but it's actually not that difficult for me right now as well. Because of my confidence in sports betting, I am doing such this year, and good chance that I will post them on here. As far as sports betting is concerned, betting them with, well, bitcoins. I know how to handicap sports, and better yet, I also know how to handicap or cap the cappers. The person who gave me Washington is someone I trust. Looking forward to the week 4 picks, but I won't find that information for many days from now. Oh yeah, I'm looking at charts because I am bored, and will delete all of this and then start counting down the charts. Not with ABY, Art Bytes, because I know that chart very well. It's something I'm familiar with and very happy so far with the trading. So you or we are getting codes that I have no idea what's going on. So let's bring up the first chart, and I'm guessing it will start with the letter A. ARC on the daily will start it off, and I'm not too enthusiastic with how it has been correcting this most recent down move. It has spent a lot of this recent time just not doing much, but staying within the 18 average of lows as it is now, newly starting to decline. Definitely with today's red candle after A couple days of consolidation is not something that I like seeing when it's now very close to a previous area of support. More often you test it, more likely you take it out. Question is, do I want to buy here? And then, of course, I would be thinking it's probably going to pierce. So therefore, I'm going to want to calculate some risk reward probability. First thing is, where would I buy? And I would have to think I would want to always take a little bit more. So you'd be looking at maybe 60. You'd be looking to get into a sell towards here. If you're going towards this point, then you're going to expect it for it to go to where it came from towards the 80 mark. So now in a play like that, I'm looking for gains of 20 on 60, that's 33%. How likely is it just going to keep going lower and then not bounce there, maybe come towards here? It could very easily go for further correction. So a play like this, I'm not too enthusiastic about the risk reward and doing anything at all with this right now. ADEX is a code that's starting to resemble itself on the daily term time frame, as it's only been on this exchange since July, and it obviously sold off from the beginning. Consolidated, congested for quite some time, and then when these things go, they go. Boom, huge correction down. Boom, and what has been a very long correction down thus far. So now you got to say to yourself, is this something that's good? If it is, then it's not a bad price. The one thing that does suck about this price is it was at 15,000 back here, and then it rallied to a lower high to the 18 average. Then it came back again to that price, had a very small rally. Then it congested that price for several days, went lower. Now it's going higher, and it's now just resisting that current price. That's just not an optimistic thing to look at. Is it a good buy to buy in here around 4 or 5,000 if it goes there? Is it even going to go there? The answer to well, the first question, I think it's probably a pretty decent one, and the second one, I have no idea if it's going to go there, so I'm doing nothing with this one. AMP on the weekly time frame is not looking good on its chart. The volume just keeps creeping higher, and the price just keeps stabilizing lower at this stage, well below this 18-week average. This is the weekly chart. And you have this high, you come back very violently to a much lower price lower high on another good rally though. Huge sell-off, lower than it was before. Another lower high, and it's now been selling off. So a lot of times when you see it, you want to obviously be a seller when it's moving its way up and be a buyer on its way down. And it's down pretty low, but like I stated with the other chart, that you've got a situation where in here it was a good low price, had your rally, now it is in here. I still think you could at least maybe get a move, maybe up to the 7,000 level. Do I want to take a chance on this right now? I don't want to, no. And I'm going to show you a chart that's very similar to this on the weekly time frame. Let's put it on the screen, and this is Sonaro AMP, AMP. Same thing. We were down here before. It's almost like it's like the same component as the previous one. I want nothing to do with this one. ADT, this is the 4-hour time frame, and this is something I'm actually going to execute. I'm going to buy some right now, and probably even put some buy orders in for some lower prices. What I like about this chart right now with this 18 average, it's starting to rise towards the upside, and I like how this resistance level, you can see it creeping up. Even shorter term than this, making a pattern of higher highs and higher lows. What I really do like is I see this, I've seen a whole bunch of this, and a lot of these wild moves back in the past, which create awesome opportunities to create sell orders. Granted, it's not like it's been that great in here. Although, anything you bought in here, thank you, I just got a sale. Now the question is it worth the volatility? Because I'm basically buying at 1,000 Satoshi. And if I look at it something like this type of level, then that means I'm going to need to be buying a decent hair above, and right now a decent hair above is like looking a bit above the 1030, 1040, and the answer to that is no. It is not worth that amount of volatility. Then you have these types of moves in here where it has decent hairlines above. And now you're talking about 1060. So again, I'm not liking this move. And even when you look at this hello, this is a great move. You're talking about going for like a 50% gain. So usually a lot of these codes have some sick ass volatility. This is not one of them, so I want no part of it. AUR is next on the list, and I'm actually going to do something with this, but nothing much right now. As everything so far, that's nothing was done. I mean, I just love looking at stuff like this. These are just cool periods because there's just a lot of profit available in there. With that being stated, what do I see now? I mean, I don't really want to buy too much because after it has came back to this key area for where it came from, it has not been really bouncing too much. There was one decent sell opportunity, but now we look at the volatility here. It's at 15.5 now, and it's already made a move up to about 22, 23. So that's better than 50% right there, and that's not even much of a move. So, and this is the weekly chart. So yeah, but this thing here, question is, do I want to buy down here? And if I look at it, the answer is, oh, yeah, I do. Why do I want to do it? Well, what I'm looking for are key areas where if it's going to drop from a key point, does it make sense that that's the proper distance? And oh, hell yeah, this does. And also, what's the mathematics upon it? Okay, well, the buy would probably be looking around the even 10 number, which is psychological. And obviously, selling it at 15 seems totally in place. That's a 50% gain. And I do like my risk reward for something like this. So a 10,000 buy order is most certainly going to be in store here. Let's take a look at the next chart. AGRS. This is an interesting situation within this. One, does the volatility work out? And price action right now in at 94.50. It's in right now within the 18 average. It retraced within the today as came back to this area for where it was. I see a newly rising 18 average and the possibility of the failed breakdown. But more importantly, it was a situation in which the market came back to where it came from. This is a code that I think I have to be relatively low risk with, but it's something that is worth making a purchase now. Because if you look at it for where would you sell? Well, the first place I would sell is more towards this previous high. And that right now works out to a 30%. That's not bad for an opening sell place. But we also look at the possibilities that if this thing gets going, where it could go up towards. And just even in here, you're looking at about 20,000. That's about 100% gain. And, you know, it's not bad. I've seen better than this and definitely better setups, but I'm bored. So let's add a small position for this one here. AGRS, that's buy at 94.50, and then add small orders later. Small position, minimum position basically, just to get some action because I feel like gambling. Let's look at the next code. Next up is BAT. What I like about this chart is choppy. That's what I like about it. And I think how you play this right now is you want to buy this below the 18 average of closes. I don't show the 18 average of close, but it's pretty much where price action's right now. In the middle, something like, well, obviously not here, but, and of course, more towards the 18 average of lows and below it. And when you got these, oh, the 18 average is rising or declining, that means nothing when the price action is choppy. However, when you look at possible sell areas right now, if you're buying at 54, selling at 61, I mean, maybe this thing just goes at some point. That's my reason why you want to hold it, but I'm not too enthusiastic about this volatility. Oh, it's not bad though. I mean, 6,400 on 5,500, that's 20%. I'm passing, although it's not bad. Moving on to Bitcoin Dark, BTCD. You know, there's no reason why I shouldn't be getting into this. I really do like this setup right now. It's currently in the 18 average band, so it's not a bad entry position. Although within current price action, we're getting the the indecisive correctionary pattern of a symmetrical triangle that's been in place since this last pump higher that occurred in September. But I do like how this thing has been progressing all the way through. Huge wild rise here, but look at the level of price going from 003 to single oh 05. That's a gain of like 13, 14x. Huge possibilities for good gains. But even for where we stand now, putting sell orders in here, 31 for a small entry break, that's a gain of about 20, 30%. And then I do like, of course, this bullish stance that it's playing. Of course, it's supporting this previous area for where it came from. It also means that by playing this game, I can just play this through the entirety. I put a position in now by buying, and then I put more buy orders in down below. I place it with sell orders, and every single time a sell order hits, I'm going to be looking to buy it several basis points lower, and then rinse, repeat, and just keep on doing it. So, with that being said, BTCD, regular swing trading. I don't know what you call that type of trading, but it's easily by the book, and just get in now at this stage for me will be very simple strategy. This is a bit mark on the weekly time frame. It's got very good volatility. It's uh, it's at a lower end of its price range. The one thing that scares me about buying in here, whether it was in here, would have always been the same, is when this level ultimately goes, if it even does. I mean, the 7,000 level is huge, huge, huge. But look how profitable it is to buy when it's below the 18 average in the lower areas. And then, well, I mean, in here, it was terrible. But areas are where it leaves the 18 average of highs. And once markets go down, there's your down run, then your up run. So at some point, this down run has to come to a conclusion. And you can put immediate sell targets in. Do this the same thing, sort of like the last code. You could put some in at around 20. That's a gain of about 40%. So that's not that bad. And then you can put sell orders definitely in around this 30 number. And now you're looking at about 140%, 130%, which is pretty good. Then you're going to put sell orders in and around. This is what I'm doing. So I'm just talking to myself, I guess, but not really. I'm talking to you guys as well. And gals, around 70 number. I mean, yeah, this is a total I want to get in on. Okay, maybe we'll get through into the C's. We'll see. How much time do we got? Oh, 18 minutes, 3 seconds. So let's just finish this to the 20-minute mark. Civic is SVC. I don't know how long it's been since I've bought in this. I don't think I've bought in it since August the 7th. I did not participate at all with any of this action whatsoever. If I did, I might have sold out of my position probably in here, knowing me. But, what do I do now within this? If this thing is like a real good code, then you're most certainly at a good price to buy in at under 10,000 Satoshi. It went up to this 20,000 mark, and well, it's obviously in a lot lower. Possible sell situations, you're looking in here at about 13, 14,000. So, yeah, not bad. And previous high is 100% gain, and breaking that, you'd got to think you can make it to like 30, 40,000 or so. Huge level of support in here. So where would we want to put a buy order in? You would think 7,200 area. It also matches this level. Let's get more data. And there really isn't any more data, but I think having a buy in that area is pretty good. But we take a look at this on a more shorter term time frame. It does show an interesting pattern, albeit choppy. And the volatility, look at the size of the moves in here compared to now. And that's something I don't like seeing, is the lower volatility. However, the pattern is pretty decent in that you have this nice little move on here. Unfortunately, with a lack of high volume, albeit some there. back to this level of support. So it looks pretty good, but it didn't here too. So I think I'm going to pass on this and finish this video off now that I've just passed the 20-minute mark. And I'll continue. Well, that's it for today. This is my last video for today. So I'll continue on with some more chronologically on Wednesday. Take care.